Hello everyone, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. I was working over here in the kind of counting area, count area size stuff, and I guess I didn't quite make it through this. Well, I'm quite far away, in fact, from gilding this window. Oh, hello. Well, okay, so we can draw a bunch of walls. Uh-oh. Right. Yeah, that's you're right. That's wrong. Start over. What did I do wrong? No. We have this. No. Well, that is true, actually. It's just not what I meant to do. Wait. What? Oh. Right. They don't all have to be... They don't all have to have a region label. This can just be its own thing. That's true. No, that's wrong. Right, so these don't have to get out at all. This could just be the whole group. Got it. So this doesn't have to get out either. This could be just the whole group for all I know. Okay, so we need some other solution plan. We need to stop looking at, well, okay, I mean, I can draw walls between these things, but I can't say, oh, this has to get out. In fact, it can't, because it would have to do this, right? So this is the whole region, and we do this. We have to look, nope, this is wrong. How? How is this wrong? It has to be right, but it's wrong. Let's just draw in all these walls first. And then I want to like snapshot this so I can go back to it next time I screw things up. Okay. So this 3. Right. So this has to go here, because it can't afford to take 2 oranges. And I made the mistake of doing this again, but that's not required. This 3 doesn't have to go to here. It can go this way, and then to here. Now, this 3, there's only 1 orange it can reach, this one. Oh, I'm seeing oranges. I'm in orange mode, apparently. This 3 has to reach here. And it can't do so by going like this, because then this would be stranded, a 3 with no neighbors. So now this 3 comes here and has to go that way. Okay, I think I'm finally not screwing this up. You know, don't hold your breath, I guess. So this 3, it can't come down here, because then this 3 has too many oranges. So it has to go there, which means this 3... Well, now we can't come down here, because this 3 would be stuck. So we gotta go this way. That's a group. And so is that, and now this is a 3. These 2 3s have to talk to each other, and then we're done. Oh, this is like a... This looks like a spade to me. Maybe I play too many card games, but I guess you could just say it's a tree. To me, it looks like a spade. It's not quite right, but it's close. We don't usually draw trees with, like, their roots, right? Or the kind of wider base. Not this wide, anyway. Anyway, okay, so we have this and this. Mingle shape. So this can't come down or there would be a problem. It has to go up. This 3 has to go there. That 3 has to go there and then turn in some direction. If it went here, there would be a mingle shape problem. So it doesn't do that, it goes here. This 2 can't go left because of the other 2, so it goes up. This 2 can't go down, so it goes over. This 3 can't be a V, it has to go up. I did this one, right? Oh, just like literally seconds ago. Okay. How about you? 5 and 5, very funny. Okay. So, we can also figure out the size of the other region, right? The third region, if we want to. This is 6 by 7, which is 42, minus 2 is 40. So this is 40 big. There's a 5 and an 11 is 16 out of 40. So the other region is size 24. Okay. Not sure how helpful that is. I mean, this 5 is clearly the starting point, right? It's an enormous constraint. But how do you do something with it? You have to make sure it touches only one of these, exactly one. And I think it's sort of easy enough to do like this, maybe? And then I can do this. No. Now this can't get out. I can't avoid this cutting off this one. This 5 is too big. Even if you go here, right? You gotta take something around here. Okay. Maybe like that? That should work, because now I can just do this, right? Yeah. This is back in Palisadeville? Oh no, this is the one I vandalized because it was too hard. Okay. I couldn't figure out what to do with that one. There's a 7 there. I'm supposed to do 5 more in this area. I can't find 5 more. There's the one I vandalized, there's the 7. Oh, there's you. I have a shape bank. Okay, so there's 2 shapes that are size 4 and 2 that are size 5. Well, this 5 has to be shaped like a Y. It can't fit an F. This 4 has to be a line. Which means this one is a square. There's no space for it to be a line. So the F has to look, the Y has to look like this. This one has to be an F. Which can only be oriented like that. This 5 has to go there. And if it didn't touch this 5, I think it would be in a lot of trouble, right? There's no shape it could be, so it has to continue there. And that means it's a Y, which can only... Well... Yeah, if it goes out here, it's going to be too big. Well, no. Sorry. It does have to go out here, but it can't then have the prong of the Y out here. fork. This has to be the fork. This has to be some region. And it has to be one of these shapes. And that means it has to touch one of these 4s, and it can't be a line, so it has to be a square. Likewise, this one is a square. This has to go straight, and then there's not enough space to become a 5, so it's a 4. And that's the 5. Any more shit hidden in the forest here? You? Huh. Kind of cute. Each of these polyominoes has a number next to it indicating how big the thing is. But of course that doesn't mean they're connected. This one, like by law, can't be. And this one also can't be because it would not be the right shape. So we have this and this. And I have mingle shape. So we have to not turn into another bend piece, elbow piece. This has to go like that, and this has to be a different 4, so it goes like that. Now this has 2 reasons it can't be an L. Well, actually 1, because if it weren't connected here, it could be this L, right? But now we know it can't be an L, and this is an L, so that, right? This plus, sorry, T, has to be like this. So this 4 comes out here. It can't go double down, because then it would be next to this invalidly. And it can't go down and left, because it would be a T. But I guess it could go down and left here. Or it could go this way, so I'm not quite sure what this does yet. This, though, these are the same region, clearly. No choice. This is a Z? There's only... well, there are 2 Z's that work. I was going to say it has to be this, but that's obviously wrong. In fact, what it has to be is this. And now this 5 is perfectly happy. This 4... You're sure it can't be an L, huh? Well, of course it can't. But is it a plus or is it an S? I don't know. Why wouldn't both of those work? Ah, because a plus would leave this 3 unhappy. It's not a plus, it's a T. So okay, it would be like that. That's required. Now this L can't go here because this could be a T, but it would be mingle shape problems. So it has to be shaped like this. And now this is an S. You want me to do 3 more? Well, there's the one I vandalized. There's the 7. And there's got to be one other. Are you the vandalized problem? You are. There's got to be someone hidden in here. I don't know. I don't see it. I know I could move forward here. Or here. Huh. Missing something. I guess I won't be able to gild this window. Nothing in the house, maybe? I don't see it. I don't see anything shooting up through the... Oh, here we are. Oh yeah, I looked at this one briefly at the end of the last episode, just to see if it was one I had looked at and given up on, and the answer was no. So my 7s are constrained to be in one of 2 shapes, but there are also some 3s, which obviously are not labeled here. All the straights have to go at least that far. This being a dead end here, it has to be this shape, right? And now you can't be this shape. You must be this shape. Which, since I know where the pointy bit is, means you have to go like exactly like that. This has to come out by at least 3. Because it's either a 3 or it's this bit. Or this bit, which would come out by 4. This 7 is highly suspect. What are you? You are another one of these kind of... This kind of reminds me of a factory shape, right? It's got, you know, the kind of boxy icon of a factory with a smokestack. That's what this looks like to me. This 7 can't be a boxy factory. It's got to be an elegant skyscraper, I guess. This one looks like it could be either. We'll see. This has to come out this far, which makes it a 3. You've got to do this, actually. Which means you can't be a 7. You must be a 3. And now this 7 has to grow in this direction by at least that much. It could either go further this way or further this way. We don't know. But it can't go there, so this region has to come out. And it can't go here. So we do know which way this goes now. And there's no way to fit a 7 in here. I mean, you could, but then you'd have 2 left over instead of 3. So this is 3 3s. This has to be a 7, right? Because if you made it a 3, you'd have to make this a 3. And then this shape doesn't fit either of the 7s or a 3. And if this is a 7, it's that one. Now I know... Well, I don't know what this is. It could be a 3, or it could be a 7. Well, okay, whichever way this one turns out to be, either fat or skinny, it has to go to here, right? And not here. So we have this, which has to come out at least that far. Ah. This cell. It can't be a 3, so it has to be part of a 7. But that means it has to reach into this 7. So we know that this is a squat factory shape. And now this can't just extend out like this and become a 3, so it must be actually a 7, shaped like this. You now have to be a 3, so this 7 comes out here. Okay. Well, so I would have to solve the one I vandalized or find the hidden puzzle to completely gild that window, I think. Is there something here that I haven't done? There is. Okay, so I could do this one. Okay, but there's no shape bank or precision or anything, so I can't do stuff like this yet until I can justify why a region has to be a particular size. And this 3 is the starting point, I think. This has to bend. That's got to go there. This has to bend. This has to be another 3 that bends, but if it goes this way, this 3 is stuck, so it goes that way. And we have this. Ugh! Wait, this doesn't have to be a 3 that bends. It can be any size. Which is good. I noticed that because this 4 suddenly became impossible. It needs to take this space. This region is a size 4, huh? And it needs a bend in it somewhere. So this is also a size 4 with a bend in it somewhere. This 3 has to come down. This shape can't become an S, so I can't drag this down. or over. It has to go up. This has to be an L. But I don't know which way it goes yet. If I did this, I'd have an impossible Gemini. Wait, but if I do this, I also have an impossible Gemini? So I guess I do this. And now these two can be happy little units together, and I can still do this. Make another L here and here. Okay. Cool. So now, this 4 was too hard for me. I can move on and just try something simpler, like a 7. Right? It doesn't have Geminis in it. That's my Achilles heel. This 6 has to get to here. This 4 has to get to here. This needs at least these 4 squares. It has a little bit of wiggle room up, down, or left, right, but not unlimited wiggle room. It has to take these 4 no matter what it does. And now this 5 is having a problem. It's got to get to there. So now I can extend this out. Right? I have the same thing going on with this region. This can't be the top left corner. Indeed, it can't be the top side or the left side, because I would run into this. So we have to have at least this much wall. And this 5, now that it's taken this space, constricts the 6 a little bit more, right? The 6 can get at most 5 from these cells, so it has to take that one, which finishes off this region for me. This 4 is highly constrained. Green, I guess. It has to get to at least here. Now the 6 is completely forced. It has to look like that. And the 4 goes there. The 7, okay, comes out like this. And it can't go all the way here or the 3 is dead. So it has to take that cell. Which means this can extend to the right. And now it can't extend down any further because the 4 is going here. It has to go up. So I've got this region down as well. I'm making great progress on this puzzle. I'm very happy for a 7 to be doing so well. This 3 is now forced, in fact. Oh, knock it off. Which means I can force this 4 and this 2 and this 3. And this 7, I think, must do exactly that. Let's see. This square can't go all the way down here. So it has to extend up and to the right by at least 1 each. Likewise this one. This 5 has to do that. The 2 goes there. Now what? I think we have to look at the area numbers around the border in some way. This 5 seems maybe most constrained. Like, Could it possibly take any set of cells that doesn't constrain this square in some way, right? Stay at least, leave a gap in between it and the square? No. It could do this. But A, even that restricts the square a little bit. It can't go both right and up, only one. But also B, it stops this 2 from getting anything. So this 5 then has to take some cell in this row, which affects this square. That's not quite true though, because it could go like that, couldn't it? Not quite. That would push the square left instead of down. The 5 could do this, but the 3 would be unhappy because the 2 would come here, right? And the 3 would be stuck. So we can't do that. The 5 has to take something from these. Yeah, so let's say the 5 took all 4 of these. It can't go down and it can't go right. So it still has to take one of these 2 cells, which means we can push the square down a bit, no matter what the 5 actually does. And that really impacts this 4 and 6 a bunch all of a sudden. The 4 has to come out at least this far, and the 6 is crazy. It's so sad. We gotta do this, and I broke it. I can't finish the square now. So I had this, which all seemed fairly forced. I think that the mistake I made must have been something in what this 5 did, because I don't think I made any serious mistakes down here. It's possible I'm wrong, but it looked convincing at the time, and didn't lead to any immediate problems. So, was there something wrong about what I said about the 5? I guess is the question I want to be asking now. I claimed that the 5 has to push this down because it has to take a cell in this row. Even if it wants to come over here and like push it right instead, it has to, on the way, push it down. So, how could I disprove that claim? I could find a layout for the 5 that doesn't push this down, which means the 5 would not be taking one of these cells. Then it has to do this. Oh, it could do this. I thought the 2 and the 3 would be in trouble, but they're not. The 2 could do that, and the 3 could do this, and the 2 could do that. And I could actually push it west. I see. So, I think this must be the answer, because I already tried pushing the square down and found that it doesn't work. But let's go back and try pushing the square down first and see, like, is there some reason that this doesn't work? When I do that, the 4 has to come out like this at least. The 6 has to go like that at least. And then, yeah, this is sandwiched. It can't do that. So the square, without even thinking about the 5, I can prove the square can't go down. It has to come up. And that imposes a great restriction on the 5. It has to come to at least here So the square goes that way. Now the 2 and the 3 has to do this. So the 5 goes that way and the 4 does this. 2 comes out, 6 does this, 4 does that. That's the 5. Getting close, assuming I haven't made a mistake. So I guess we have to look at what's putting pressure on this square. Oh, this 3 is. No matter what orientation of elbows it takes, it has to come up into this row on one of these 2 cells at least. So this has to go up. And I believe... No, I don't believe that. I was going to say that we end up having to push this square to the right a bit, because even if we try not to, we end up forcing it, right? But that's not true, because we can go here. I sort of suspect this will end up being the answer, in fact. Yeah, it is. Nice. That 7 was easier than some 4s that I've struggled with. Oh, and that was enough to gild the window. That's right. Okay, great. Well, which way? There's at least 2 new directions I could go. These 2, and I think there was something over here as well, right? Did I look at this 6? Oh, this is another 7. Not today. I just did a 7. Give me a break. Let's learn something new, hopefully. Mismatch. All regions must have different shapes. Not just adjacent ones. Okay. So this is the only line piece I'm allowed to use, so this must bend. It's got to be an S, square, and T. Oops, I seem to be in orange mode accidentally. That's a 1. So there can't be any 1s. So that has to be at least a 2. That has to be at least a 2. Well, what? That can't be right, can it? But it can't be wrong. Oh, different shapes, not different sizes. Okay, right. So this is a 3 and that's a 3. I was like, I can't make a 4. I don't know what you want from me. They're the same shape, huh? That's true. Mismatch and polyomino. Okay. That's my only 1. So this can't be a 1. It has to come down here and become this line. I can't have a 1, so it has to go at least this far. But I can't have a 2 either, so it has to go here. But it can't be a line, so it has to go at least there. This can't be a 1, and it can't be a 2, and it can't be a 3 line. So it has to go to at least here. And now these 2 are sort of having a standoff, but it's fine because this is all forced. Mismatch is a very powerful constraint. It does so much. So this is a P, this is a V. If it goes left, we have 2 1s, so it's got to go right. This P could go up or down. Down works, right? I have two. No, it doesn't. Oh. I can't have two different areas of that are 2x1s. I can have one because it can be a 2, but I can't put two 1s in the second. I was thinking, oh, well, I'll put the 2 here and the 1 here, but I have to put two 1s here. So that's why this can't go down. There's stuff down here. You know there is. Skip straight to a 4. Okay, this is my 1, so that's got to be my 2 domino. So this is not either of those. Neither is this. So that's got to be my curvy elbow piece. So this goes at least that far, and then I ruined the puzzle. Because now I need another 1 here. Okay, try again. That's a 1. Really tough to argue with that. So this has to go at least this far. Oh, did I erroneously say it must be my 2? That isn't true. It's at least a 2, but it could go further. This is at least a 2. This is at least a 2. This is at least a 2. But I don't know which one of them is actually a 2. Well, what the hell shape are you? If you just did this and stopped, we'd have 2 2s, so that's impossible. You have to go up. And if you went down, I guess that might be okay. I don't know. So you have to go over. Now, one of these two is my domino. Only one of them can take another cell, right? So I have taken up either a domino or a 3 and a 3 line, or a domino and a 3 elbow. But one of them is the domino. So this can't be one. It's got to go there. And these can't be dominoes either. And neither can this. It's got to go up. So, now this. I know this cell can't go here, because I said this is needed to fix these guys. So this must be done. It's a 3 elbow. So this can't go up. That's my domino. That's a 3 line. This has to keep going. This has to keep going, because it can't be a 3 line. So that's my 4 line. This can't be a 3 elbow, so it has to keep going. This can't be a 2 or a 3 line. Or a 4 line. It's got to go at least that far. This can't be a 4 line either. And suddenly we used a lot of different shapes. I guess at some point you have to start cataloging how many regions of various sizes, like how many shapes of various sizes are left. I've used up all the regions of size 1, 2, and 3, I think. But there are numerous 4s left. Really, the only one I've 100% used up is this square. No, it's not a square, it's a line. Okay. So I guess the issue is this one, then. It can't be size 2 or size 3. It's at least size 4, so it goes here. And we have this. And this one's also at least size 4. It has to go here. one's also at least size 4. Oof. I mean, I kind of think this is a square. This goes up there. This stops. This is an L and this is a T. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't the wisest plan to start on these hidden guys down here. Oh, turns out there was a 2 in the neighborhood I could have done first. I figured they'd be of similar difficulty down there, but they were not. Oh, well, they all just have to go straight to get to their orange buddies, I guess, right? No, this is wrong. It's 100 times wrong, isn't it? But how could anything be right? Well, maybe this can be salvaged. This is obviously not possible. Because then this cell, well, oh no, it could do that. Is that something? No. There we go. That's right. Shape, bank, and mismatch. That's a little bit weird. You're telling me there are exactly 4 regions, and they have these exact shapes. So there must be 20 cells in here, I guess. This has to come up. This has to come over. Knock it off. This has to keep going. So does that. This must be the W. There's no way it could be any other shape with what I have, so it goes here. The only place I can line up 4 in a row is along this wall. You could do it here, but you end up creating regions that are the wrong size. And likewise if you do this, so it doesn't actually work. So we have all this. You, I guess, are the Z. So we have that. Okay, shape, bank, and mismatch again. Not a lot of places to fit a V, honestly. I think it kind of has to be this. Well, no. I mean, maybe you could do this somehow. But no, no one could reach in here. Like all the other V's I can think of, cut something off. Right? I think this has to be the V. Maybe I'm wrong. This doesn't seem like a rigorous proof, but I just couldn't think of any other place to put it. This comes out here, so it's not the V. We already have that. It's not the P. It's not a U. It must be a Z, and that Z has to be shaped like this. And then indeed, we are done. 3, 13, 23, 29? So there's a sneaky little 1 hidden in here somewhere, a unit region. Oh, or these two could be the same region, and then there's quite a bit of excess space, right? Wait, they have to be, right? If these were all separate, that would be 13. Right? And then this is another 10, 23. And 6 is 29. But the grid is 25 by 25. So there has to be either these U's are the same or these T's are the same. One or the other. And then once you've done that, you'll be down to a size of 24, and there will still be 1 unit square left somewhere. But every other cell will be accounted for. And I guess you can't really make these T's the same, because then there's no one to get in here. So these are actually separate T's, which means these U's are the same. Okay. Well, I mean, to make these T's separate is, like, incredibly restrictive. You have to do this, right? Nope, that doesn't work. What can you do besides put the base of the T here? How can any other part of the T be in the corner of the grid? It can't be this. It can't be this. It can't be this. It's one of these two is in the base, right? And if it were along here, these would be the same T. Oh, well... Right. It could be that both the T and the U shapes are merged. The T's merge together and the U's merge together. And then I have to find 6 cells to make up the remainder in some orientation instead of 1. Because when I made up these T's, I was thinking, I said, oh, well, this can't be it, because there's no region that can get here. I only have 1 space of slack. And if I do this, this cell can't be handled. But if I give myself 6 spaces of slack, that's not a problem anymore. And it seems like this is the only way you can actually get 2 T's here. So I think it has to work like that. This part of the 4 has to be the base, right? Like, this is the only thing that makes any sense, I believe. I can't have any more 1s. So this has to be at least a 2. Now this U is messed up? No, I guess it's fine. If I did this, I'd have a 1. But I can do this and have a 2 here, which means this has to expand, and I do this. Great. I have a 1, a 2, and a 3. Which I guess I didn't realize it. I was thinking about it, and I didn't say it, and what I was thinking was wrong. So when you have 6 spaces of slack, I was thinking, how could you fill that? 1, 2, 3 is the obvious way. I mean, 3, 3 would also work. But I thought there was going to be some way that involved 2 2s. But of course, there's only 1 2 domino, right? So it had to be 1, 2, 3, or else both 3s. But we knew it couldn't be both 3s because one of them was taken up here. Okay, mismatch. Cool constraint type. I like it. No, wait a minute. I have a 1 and a 2. So each of these is at least size 3, so you have to do that. 1, Oh, those are the same region. I didn't get that joke. I see. Is that so? You've given me this tempting shape, but I can't use it because there's another polyomino here, right? So I have to divide this up somehow. And there's only two ways to do it. Well, one, really, way to do it. You could try a few things, like, you know, you could make 2 2s and a 1, but then you need another 1, right? You have to make a 1. Well, there are 2 ways. It's either a 1 and a 3, long 3, or a 1 and a bent 3. So, fine. Either way, we're using up, well, either way, A, these two are connected. Not that that super matters. And B, we're using up our unit square in here, and also one of our 3s. So all of these have to extend out at least this far. This now can't join with either of those, so it has to come down. And it has to come down more, right? Because this can't be the short leg of the L. It'd have to go 2 in one direction, which it can't. So it has to do this. And then go one way or the other. Well, if it goes this way, I have another 1, which I can't have, so I go that way. I think it's maximally flexible to just take all of this. This has to be a 3, and this has to come down, and then we have a line. This area... I'm not sure. I guess is what I can say about that area. I mean, these are different regions. That's true. At least one of them must extend forward, but I mean, who knows what that means. Let's back up. I have 18 squares to fill. I can use a 1 and a 2, that's 3 squares. There are 2 3s, so I can use 6 more, that's 9. And I still have 7 left? Well, and I don't have any 3s. Do I? Wait a minute. 1... Yeah, I don't have any 3s. So I would have to have a 4, but at that point... I have 3 spaces left to fill and only a 4 to fill it with. So... that means I don't use all of 1, 2, 3, 3, I think. Because that adds up to 9, and I need 9 more. I mean, I guess I could use a 4 and a 5, but I don't think there's anywhere I can fit a 5 in this grid. Oh, there is. That's worth exploring. I don't know that it's right yet, but this is interesting. If this is a 5, where can I fit a 4? Here? That would be the only 2, and then I have the other 3s here. Nice. So I said I can't use 1, 2, 3, 3, but in fact I can. I just can't use 2 4s after that. I think I was confused, and I thought after 1, 2, 3, 3 I needed 8, when actually I thought I needed 7, and therefore 2 4s was too much. But actually I needed a 9, and 2 4s was not enough. already completed this window. I could move on if I so chose. Although, to where is unclear. I guess I could go this way, but I think that was always true? Who knows? Palisade mismatches. I love the hybrid rule puzzles. Well, isn't it just like extremely flexible to make this be the 6? I guess here's a sort of different problem. How do I tell this region and this region apart? They're the same shape, and this corner is the only asymmetry that they have. So it's maximally flexible to make one of these the big 6. And if I wanted it to be this one, there'd be no way to break up the symmetry of like, well, fine, okay, why didn't you make this one the big 6 instead, right? So I think the point must be that this one is the big 6, and this one I have to chop up for parts in a way that puts a line in at least one of these 2 cells. I think that's the only way you can have a unique solution, is if this is the 6th region. So what space do I have left to fill? 18. That's the same space I had in the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5 would do it if I could make that. I think I can. That's a 5. This is the 1. This is a 4. That's a 2. So I need both 3s in here, which is easy. Yeah. And if you tried to do that in an inverted way, where you made this one the big 6, you would find yourself unable to split this region up into the 2 3s. So that's why it has to go the other way. Oops, 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 oops. Mismatch Palisade. Well, look at these regions. One of them has to go down here, and when it does, it'll become the only domino, and the other one therefore can't go down, so it has to become the only unit. So I don't know which of these it is, but dominoes and units are both forbidden in the rest of the puzzle. Right? And now I know which one it is, because that can't go down anymore, and that's the unit. This can't be a domino or a unit, it has to go further down. This can't be a 3, so it merges in. This also can't be a 3, so it goes up, and we're done. Precision 5. So this is the kind of thing that someone who is more in tune with the pencil puzzle world might know. How many different... what do you call how many different pentominoes are there? Does it happen that this region is exactly big enough that it requires all the different 5 pentominoes? I don't know. I don't think I particularly need to go look that up right now. there's no way. There's so many more pentominoes than this. This is not going to be all of them. For example, there's no I in here, right? If you did this, you would have the wrong sizes of everything. And you can't fit one anywhere else. This can't be a V. So it can't take both of these cells. It's got to take at least one of these. And then it can't go up here because it would become an S. And it can't go here. Oops. Oh my god. It can't go here because it would be a V. So it goes that way and it's a T. Now this S can't go up. It's got to become a W instead. This can't go down because it would be a T. It's got to go this way instead. It's a Y. This looks like an F and a P here. Precision 4. What about this cell? It has to merge with one of these too, I guess. There are only 4 regions, though, right? Total? Yeah. S, line, L, T? This looks kind of like an M shape, doesn't it? Aside from this weird bit off the top. Precision 5 again. You're the only region that can reach here, and likewise that. So it looks like we need these to be a P and a T in some orientation. I think it's got to be that way, right? Otherwise the asymmetry in the puzzle doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, I did that one, huh? How am I doing, Mr. Window? 3 more to go? This is like a hobbit lives in here. Wait a minute. There's one in there. This is a big step up in difficulty from the last one. Precision 6. This grid is 9 by 7 is 63. Minus 3 is 60. So there are 10 regions. These are the same region. And there's only one way for that to happen, right? Because they can't be different regions. It's mismatch. So we have to do this. These are also the same region. And I think this is the only way, right? Yeah. If this tried to not join up here, I think it would be a duplicate, right? Yeah. So it does go this way. And then it sticks out in one of these 2 cells. But of course, if it stuck out here... Oh. A, it would be the wrong shape, which I didn't realize. But B, it would isolate this cell. So it has to do that. How big is this area up here? That's probably a useful question. 5, 11, 14, 16? That's not as useful as I would have hoped. 6, 6, 4. Yeah, so, I mean... Yeah, I can't quite, like... If this were an even multiple of 6, I could just cut it off, right? But it's not. And the bottleneck is wide enough that I don't know exactly how it gets its extra squares from the outside, so I can't mark them off. I think I know the orientation of this one, right? Its long edge has to be against the wall. Because if it were anywhere else, it would leave gaps, which are not allowed. So it has to be like this. And... it almost has to take this square. But what if it were like this instead? We could just barely leave room for that square in another shape. Although, what would that shape be? It would be like this, and you'd be stuck, so that can't happen. In fact, we do need this square. Oops, you're not done, of course. We have this. And now these two have to merge immediately, right? Because if they try to escape, they'll just have to merge here and be the wrong size. So how many regions are left to place? I have placed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of, I said 10, right? And I only have guidance on the shape about one of them. The rest will all be forced by the layout of the grid and the mismatch rules, apparently. Well, okay, this has to come down. And I assume it has to merge here. It seems quite difficult not to. What if I tried, though? What would happen to avoid merging here? Because this one does have a little nib that can shoot off, but I guess maybe it could look something like this? Or... no, this region is not big. This area is not big enough to be its own thing, and it's not small enough to just use the leftovers from these spaces. Is there anything else I could do here? I mean, sort of. This could kind of shoot up here. Like that, right? But then I have 11 up here. I didn't use, yeah, so I don't think this works. I don't think this can avoid coming here. And I think this must be a vertically mirrored orientation. So we go like this, and that's our shape. Nope. That is a disaster. Okay. I was about to draw the same thing again. Well, what else can it be? Can't be anything. Right? Okay, another way to look at this cell. Well, no. It needs a line of 4s somewhere in it in a row. Could it be like this? No, this region would be the wrong size. Could it be like this? Maybe if I did that? But that's the wrong size. And if I stick... How do I make it this shape, man? I guess like that? But this is completely the wrong size. So, I think maybe its area of 4 has to be like this? But it can't. You can do that. Oh, this works. Something like that, probably. I guess there's going to be a problem somewhere? Yes, those are the same. Oh, right. Okay, so I should just fill this in and then say, well, this can't be that shape. It has to be a different one. There. Little Hobbit 4 tried to trick me. What? Oh, yeah, I guess I just miscounted. I thought this region had like 8 cells in it, but actually it has 5. Okay. It's 10, I mean. 2 5s. There's a 10 here and 10 here. I assume this is like 15? Yes. Now this is quite a lot of pentominoes, right? But it's still not all of them, because there's no room for an eye piece in any. Oh, no, there is. This one over here could be an eye. Okay. This might be the whole menagerie. 3, 6, 12? 12 pentominoes? Is that how many there are? Seems about right. But like I said, I'm not a polyomino expert. Okay, well, let's get to it. We know that and that and that. That. This can't reach this cell, so we have to do at least this. And those. So one of these is a P, for sure. I can't use any other P's. The other one could be a V if I do this. Or another P if I do this. Well, that's no good. So this is a V. Okay. Well, so this... If these two are different regions... I was going to say I have to make a P, but I don't. I could do this. Just barely. I could also make them the same region, but if I do that, I end up with a P here. So I guess they are different regions, and this, to avoid a P, turns into this. I get a Y and an S. Now I have no PVYS. Spiv. Okay. Who can reach this cell? Nobody. This is where the third region is, in this area. Now the third region in this area is down here. It could take up to 4 this way, but it needs a 5th here, I suppose. This cell, in order to take up 5 cells, has to either become a P, illegal, or take this cell. If it takes this cell, it must also take this one. Now it can't take this, or it wouldn't be able to finish off this area. So we have that, in fact. Not sure how to make further progress here yet. Well, I can make a little more progress. This region has to take one of these two cells at least. Because there's no way for it to take two of these without... Well, no, it could become this, actually. I was thinking I can't do this, I'd be an S. I can't do this, I'd be a Y. But I suppose I could be an L. Ah, but I couldn't, because then this would also be an L. So it needs one of these two cells at least, which means this has to come down. Now, if it comes down any further, it'll be another Y. So it goes that way to be a T, and I get my Z and my L. This cell can only be reached from here. I think I want to make a plus, actually, and a W and an I. This can't be a Z, because then I'd get another P. What else can it be? An F and a U. Cute. Does this spell anything? Actually, it almost looks like it's trying to be A, B, C, D, E in a way, right? Like, it's not quite right. It's tough to draw an E with, 15 pixels in a way that requires this specific polyomino solution. But this almost looks like the first 5 letters of the alphabet these 5 groups make up. Whereas if I look at if I name the polyominoes, the pentominoes, I'm sure it's not going to be very helpful, right? S, Y, F, U, V, P, I... What is this one called? They're usually named after letters. Oh, X, of course. X, W, T, Z, L. Yeah, I don't think that's a message. The A, B, C, D, E might be. Precision 5, and it's enormous. But a lot of these they have kind of forced entries, right? So this has to be my W. So this can't go up, it has to go over. There's a lot of contention around L adjacent shapes, right? I have to find 4 different ways to modify an L. I can make the long end longer, I can make the long end jog. I can make the long end jog in the other direction. And then I can make the short end jog. Or I can make a V. So there's actually 5 ways to do this, at least. That's gotta go there. I was hoping there would be only 4 and that I could work out what they were, where they would go into this puzzle. This has to be a new region. I mean, I suppose that's sort of interesting. It can't reach any of the existing regions. Give me that dark purple. I like that look. Can't reach any of the existing regions. I mean, I don't have any proof, but it seems like... Oh! I now have proof of the opposite of what I believed. I've already made one of the extended L shapes. It's this S. So this has to continue down and be a V. Okay, this has to be a Z. This can't be a Z, so it has to be an L. Or J, I don't know what they call it, this one. So this has to be a U. And now, this can't be an L, it's gotta be an I. There's my P, that's gotta be a T. I think this has to be an F, there's no other choice. Oh, that is illegal. A Y is what I meant, I guess. And this is my X. I have made this area's window, and it has unleashed additional puzzles on me. As they always do. For some reason, a bunch of the puzzles are off when you start an area. I mean, I guess they're like the introductory ones to the area, right? Is the idea? And then once you've done enough of them, it says, okay, here's the rest of the puzzles for the area. Oh, hello. A 6. I don't think I'm conversant enough in these mechanics yet. Give me a 3. Mismatch, but there's 2 W's. So they have to be friends, either in this way or this way. I guess what I can say, regardless, is that these are all together. And these have to be friends as well. And there's only one way to do that, for sure. This cell can't be part of this W. So it gets to at least here and then here, and it becomes a P in one direction or the other. This has to come out. I know the orientation of this W now. If I did this, that's fine, but now I have a P here, and I know there's a P here as well. So it has to be oriented in this way. So that's the P, this comes here, and becomes a U. That's an L, so this must be the I, and we need an F there. 1. So all other things must be at least size 2, huh? Well, this one... I can't do this. I can. can't do this, but that's a different story. I could put a wall here if I connected these two, maybe. This cell, it can't connect here because it would be a domino and it would force another domino. So it has to go up. I have this shape. These two shapes down here. I found my T and my 3 elbow. Now, do I have any cells where they might have been a domino, but now they can't be? I don't know about that. I think if I connect this up and make this go here, I can make that the domino, and then just do this. Mismatch. But there's so many repeated shapes. How could there be a mismatch? These guys have to be a V together, which I believe can only be done in this way. How else could you do it? You can't. Well, I guess I must be wrong because this becomes impossible. No, it doesn't. This might still be possible. I don't have, not every region needs to have a polyomino assigned to it. So I can't say this has to come out to here. In fact, I can say it can't come out to there because it would be the wrong shape. So this has to go at least to there. And indeed, it has to get to this. So it's got to go that way. This is now my domino. These S's have to connect up, and that's the only way they can do it. This F, I mean, is it forced? I was gonna say it has to be this, but couldn't it be that? It could if I wanted to put my unit in there, right? However, I can't put the unit there because these guys need the unit to be here. So now this actually has to be the perfect fit. That doesn't work. There's no way for me to divide this up. So I guess actually I was overeager in this. It could also look like this, extending up or down. But whichever way it goes, up or down, I end up having to put a domino along the wall, don't I? Up here, this is the domino. Or that way. So I don't think I can do that. Okay, let's start over with something. I mean, this V thing looks true, but maybe I'm wrong. This S clearly goes that way. It just has to. These guys, it still sort of seems like I could do this. Yeah, now if I haven't if I haven't filled up this area, maybe a domino in the corner isn't so bad. Or here I have a domino and a 3 in the corner, which is a little bit harder to stomach. But either of them could be possible. Is this possible? I need a unit here. I mean, seems like it could happen, depending on what the rest of the puzzle does. So, maybe the key point is these guys at the moment. Well, I think it's this V, but I tried it last time and it didn't seem to work. So, if I grab both of these, this F is in tough shape, but it's not dead. Right? It could do this. And what if I grab this? The F could look like that, but it could also... Well... That's just the same, actually. It could look like that. There's a couple choices. Okay, so back to this V then. How can these be connected? What two cells in a V are at a diagonal distance of 1? Only these two, right? So there has to be a corner in between them. If it were this, the V would extend outside the edge of the puzzle. So this is the corner in between them, and we get this. So this, what I started with last time, was apparently correct, but I did something wrong afterward. I mean, this has to reach here. It's the only choice. And that's my 2. So now I can't put a domino in the corner anymore. Which means I can't do this. That forces a domino in one corner or the other. So I have to do this. That's my 1. And I have a 2. So everything has to be at least size 3 now. This has to stop where it is, because if it goes any further and stops, it's an L. And if it goes to here and stops, well, now the F is broken. So we have this. And I guess this is my F, and then this is a weird 6-piece. Okay. Not sure. I think I may have committed too hastily on this F, and that forced this Y to be a problem. Whereas if I'd worked on the Y, I would have seen what would have to happen, and then I could solve the F more easily. Okay. Well, I think I'm done for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.